Yep, still CT biased.
That makes it an 8-7 map. That makes it balanced.
CTs get more rounds, don't they? CT biased.
I'm not winning this argument, am I?
All right, guys, we are heading live here in the third map.
We are indeed. The other stat to remember as we head into the pistol round is that 67.95% of all pistol rounds on Inferno are won by the T side. It's the most heavily biased T-sided pistol of any map that we play competitively. I also had a question which I'll answer in a little bit. Why haven't we got more than 5 maps? But we'll come to that in a moment. Right now it's a 5-man rush down Inferno as they blaze their way through existence and in towards the B bomb site. Bomb in hand here. 1 man waiting on site is in the smoke right now. Is Scream. He gets the first, he gets the second, MBK gets a third in there. Somehow Smith then gets nailed in the head and I'm struggling to even find anyone left. Kenny S is now the last man alive. Release and MX have both got low health here, so this is still on for Kenny S. If he can pick up the first one, he can get the first one. It's now a 1 versus 1. MX versus Kenny S. Plenty of time here. 25 seconds or so left on that clock. Still ticking down. And they've rotated around that bomb. I don't think Kenny S knows where he is. He unleashes the first few shots. Can't land him. Then lands the final one with 6 points of health. And we'll have plenty of time to get the defuse. And VeryGames have overturned the statistics. They've won the pistol round on Inferno.
I mean, with the X-ray function, I love this now. I love that for casting. You can see how well MX played that one out. He constantly moved around whilst walking, so he didn't make any sound. And, I mean, it was so hard for Kenny S to actually know where he was at. And in the end, Kenny S had 100 HP, MX was low on HP. He managed to get Kenny S all the way down to about 12 HP, but in the end lost it. I mean, fantastic piece of CS.
Clutched a 1v2 in the opening pistol rounds to give his team the lead. With Scream just waiting for any sign of attack on this banana walkway. Right now, 5 men sitting back in second mid by the looks of things. Oh, actually, no, they're going to go hallways here as well. Now, are we going to be able to get into this bomb site? Yes, we are. Kenny S with the first one and the second one as well. In fact, he's going to clean up in that bomb site very quickly indeed. MBK and Smith with a couple between them. So a straightforward eco bash in round 2. VeryGames leading 2-0.
Once again, I want to point out that VeryGames are really effective against the ecos. They do not want to get Anexis all the way into that bomb site to get the bomb planted. That's going to play a huge role. Because Anexis couldn't plant that bomb, Anexis can't... oh, well, in fact, they got the plant in the pistol round, so they are on an early buy, in fact.
Just to prove us wrong, again. So third round early buy is not working so far because Existence has already picked himself up a frag. Just wanted to check and see where they were going right now. It's actually Kenny S who's made his way towards quad. There is a man in... Actually, there's 2 men in second mid just waiting, so he's not pushing on from here. Let's try and find some Anexis players. Right now, Bomb is with Rattlesnake. And he's now going second mid. Husey waiting for the jump to balcony any moment. Or not, as the case may be. They wait. They think there's someone up there, but there isn't. Now, there is one man. Oh, Rattlesnake just flicked away from him just at the wrong moment. We saw it on the X-ray. He wouldn't have seen it, of course. And now, can Rattlesnake get in here? No, he can't. And, well, they're a little bit indecisive right now. 35 seconds remaining of the round. 2-0 down on an early buy. Got to make this one count. What are we going to get? Smoke goes in towards the A bomb site. Smith drops Husey. It's now a 5 versus 3. They're losing men and they're losing time. 20 seconds now. Got to go for this B bomb site. And if they do, well, I think they're going to have to save now. That's ridiculous. Indecision has cost them that round. It really has. And if they'd gone to the B bomb site, there were 4 that had rotated to that covered site. So if they'd gone there, they'd have found one man. I mean, it's easy for us. We can see it through the overlays and what have you.
Yeah. But I mean, we've talked about it already on that second map. That what seems to be Anexis' kryptonite right now is that passive play. So let's listen in to the teams.
Run up banana. So what do they do then? What do they do? They're going to flash you from mid, so you need to turn around, like literally as you get to the steps. From middle.
Someone needs to flash for him though.
Yeah, I'm going to flash.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like we might have a quick push here because they're going to flash early and they're going to try and flash over the top of A. He was absolutely right. I did get flashed through mid. Grenade comes raining down on the top. Scream picks up the first kill. Weber in there as well. Now Rattlesnake has to be careful not to pick up a frag on his own player here, but Husey has come up huge yet again. Gotten rid of 2 of them as they're on banana. MX now with a 3rd. Suddenly this game spins again. 4 versus 2.
And both the CTs are rotating over towards that A bomb site. They do anticipate the push coming in from Anexis onto that A bomb site, and that might be a good decision.
Yeah, they do. And MBK has already dropped 2. And now even things up. And it's not that even right now because, wow, MBK with a 3rd in a row has single-handedly won VeryGames this round, surely now. 2 versus 1. Just Husey remaining, and MBK drops a 4th.
2 versus 4, Paul. Anexis had it all to do. No problem. That should have been an easy round for them. But NBK, he had something to say about that. Astonishing headshots coming out from him. Really well played by him. But again, Anexis, they're 4 versus 2. They shouldn't be indecisive. They should be pushing into a bomb site as a unit and not challenge 1 by 1.
On an eco now as well, so this might well be a bit of a bash. Let's see what we've got. Existence is on. In any other game this would sound ridiculous, but he's on banana with a P90. And maybe it wouldn't sound quite so ridiculous in COD maybe, but it's the perfect weapon through smoke. And he has done a little bit of damage to Husey, Release, and MX as well. Now let's just see if he can pick up any frags here, because there's plenty of them. They're all waiting here, and they've all gone back white halls. In fact, 3 of them are going to try and go down. And Husey's not going to get a frag. It's going to be MBK who's going to get 1. He's going to get 2. Can he get a 3rd? Yes, he can. Another 4-man from MBK.
NBK being the difference there for VeryGames, really shutting down any push coming out from Anexis. Even though that was an eco bashing, it needs to be said, there's so much bombs being planted in ecos in global offensive. Yeah. But VeryGames, that they understand what that does to the economy, so they just go in and make sure that the Anexis squad doesn't get any money.
Rattlesnake here taking some damage from double grenades at bottom of banana, and has had to back himself away. Does have AWP in hand, and Existence has continued on with that P90. MBK though, it's a shame his name isn't Nathan with a K, otherwise that would have been not bad, Nathan. 5-0 right now to VeryGames. 1:05 remaining in round 6. And Anexis have shown nothing really so far in terms of attacking prowess on Inferno. It's been a perfect lockdown, and VeryGames are very, very good CT side Inferno at locking this map down. They've done a perfect job of it so far. Back with MBK again. Any sign of life. And it seems like he's going to pin their head to the board. He's already got himself 11 frags so far in 5 rounds.
The push is coming over towards B now, Paul.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It's going to come the other way. Rattlesnake's now going to come up behind them here and back them up with the AWP. Existence picks up the first one with that P90. Won't survive very long, though. And they've exchanged a frag apiece, but MBK, look at this. And now Rattlesnake into the site, gets him at the second attempt. Can he get a second one here towards that car? There is a man coming around him. He'll leg the man underneath, but then Kenny S picks up the frag. And it's 6-0 and nothing that Anexis can put up right now is doing any kind of good.
And Kenny S has been utilizing that M4 and AK now, and once again he's grabbing that M4 a little bit. I have no idea why he decides not to go for the AWP here. Surely they can afford, yes indeed, they can afford to drop an AWP for him.
Existence has gone back to the P90 again.
Alright, Kenny S is playing quad, so that's why he doesn't utilize the AWP.
He doesn't want to do AWP from there. That would be awkward.
Yep.
So, quick push this time round from Rattlesnake. Makes no difference, gets dropped by Kenny S, no problem whatsoever. At quad. Smith is just the other side of them, and they've got 2 men trying to come out of baller here and try and hit this A bomb site. Flash goes in there, and there is one in In fact, there's 2 in mid right now. Kenneth does get a little bit tagged, but then tags back another man, and will pick up the frag on MX now. That's 2 for him, out of 2. Next one lines up nicely, and Kenny is trying to get a third, does get a third. Incredible from Kenny yet again. 3 out of 3. Leave him alone, lads. He's going for an ace here. Just couldn't quite control the recoil through the gap in the door. 2 men left, Weber and Release. And I tell you what, he might end up running out of bullets at this range. Kenny S with 3 in a round. Looking for 5. Haven't seen an ace yet at these quarter-final stages. Just saw 15 during the regular season. One of them came from this man on your screen. Still looking. 10 seconds remaining now. They are going to try and save these last 2, so let's just see where they are right now. Weber is... Hall's Release is going to wait with him as well as they set up a sort of crossfire, and they have managed to keep themselves 2 weapons, and game is paused right now, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with players. VeryGames looking around. They've got some audio issues by the looks of things. Interesting. Wait and see what goes on with them, but that's going to be another round in the bag for VeryGames anyway. And it seems like if MBK isn't going to have a 4-man, then Kenny S has a 3-man, and
well,
they've always got someone to step up.
It has to be said, though, that both of these 4-mans that we've seen coming out from VeryGames is down to the fact that Anexis push 1 by 1. Every time we've seen Anexis during these games, well, I'm not going to count Nuke, but those 2, every time they move in as a unit, they're better at aiming. They pick up the kills, they get in, they get the bomb planted, they get the money rolling, so they can just keep putting up weapons against VeryGames, and that's how they need to play it. Now, they're playing so passively that you've seen them having to save in that first weapons round, I think it was. 3 players against 4 of VeryGames, I think it was. It's not a situation you would want to save in when you're down 3 or 4 rounds. I mean, we need to see Anexis playing a little bit more fast-paced and moving as a unit, and stop going for that with those 1v1s, because that didn't work on Dust 2, didn't work on New, and it's not working on Inferno.
No, it's definitely not. Let's have a quick listen and see what Anexis are talking about right now.
We're going to get taken on. Taken on. Then the next round we'll just do 3 apps. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So like Sam, Brandon and you, Dan, run banana, and I'll stand at the back and flash.
I throw my own flashes.
No, you just run out with knife, and I'll keep flashing up so they're blind, and you just run up.
You need to do them quicker than what last time, because last time I had my back turned, second turn around, I just had both of them shoot me. I think you need to face towards the logs wall, towards C-spawn, rather than the right-hand side, like face this way. Well, yeah, no, I know how to dodge them, because I saw them when they come in. I do know how to dodge them, but it's the fact that...
So we're going to come out of that one. Obviously, still talking about strats, which is great, because it's tough, isn't it? I mean, you've been in this position a number of times at different LAN events. Inevitably, there's a crash or an audio issue or something happens where the game has to be paused. How do you cope with it?
I mean...
When you're winning, how do you cope with it?
Well, I mean, this pause is not really bad for anyone. I mean, VeryGames, even though they're kind of losing momentum a little bit here by the pause that's been put on, they still, when the game resumes, they will see a 7-0 scoreline or a 6-0 scoreline. 7-0, in fact. Let's head back in game here now. The game has been unpaused. And what I like to see, what I just saw against, I mean, when we saw Anexis and Rattlesnake and everyone talking it over now, they didn't seem stressed at all.
No, they seemed very calm, didn't they?
Yeah. So
just talking it through and deciding how they're going to do it. And here we go then, flash into mid yet again. Has not stopped them this time around, but Existence's grenade has stopped them. Very short indeed. They've lost 2, they've lost 3. Scream's come in with a double now. Flash is going to come around. Is it? No, it's actually a smoke. And Weber then gets dropped by Scream as well. He's now had 3 in the round, and might get himself a 4th here as well. MX is just waiting in the smoke, trying not to get shot. And Scream is going to join the list of players who've picked up a triple in this game already. He's got 3 this round, Kenny has got 3 last round, and MBK has picked up 2 4-mans. That's 4 rounds of the 8 that will have played have been picked up by a single player alone. Now, Scream with what else but a Scream headshot for a 4-man.
It's not much to say right now. I mean, VeryGames up 8-0. We're going to see an eco here, I think, coming up from Nexus. No, in fact, they will be buying. Once again, we see Rattlesnake going for the Galil, Release also on the Galil, Weber as well, so it's pretty much a light buy. They need to start picking up rounds here, and they need to start pushing in as a unit and just pretty much try to do it right off the bat, and hopefully that's kind of what we're seeing right now. In fact, they are slowing a little bit down here, Paul.
Yep, they are indeed. Kenny S at the top of mid. He's actually going to push a little bit further this time, and he might get himself a couple of kills here because Release and Weber both looking to come towards him. Hughes is in the side as well, but it's Weber that picks up the first kill. Nicely done from him. It's a decoy out there as well. Now, flashing towards the bomb site will be quick here. Smiths and MBK have got themselves a frag apiece. And in fact, MBK is very dangerous inside that pit area. Annex replying back with one. Chance for Anexis here, though. It's 3 versus 2. MBK has to flash himself in that pit area to give himself any chance whatsoever, but he's down. MX and Rattlesnake come in now. And now, last man alive will be Scream. And it's a 2 versus 1. They've got very low health here. A little bit of health chipped away from him as well. He's down to 69 now. Hasn't got the right set of grenades. He's only got a smoke in hand. Although, actually, no, he does have a flash, and it's in towards the pit area now. But neither of them are there. And they've managed to negotiate their way around back onto the bomb site. And now Scream lops off the head of MX. Can he get the second one? It's in on Rattlesnake. It's a 1 versus 1. Are they all in? Yes, they are.
There we go.
Rattlesnake comes up huge with a double in the round. And Anexis get themselves their first round on the board.
All right, so for everyone who's kind of new to Counter-Strike and how it works out, this is how it is. After 6 rounds, if you lose 6 rounds in a row, you'll start getting a lot of cash in. Not a lot, but enough to buy every single round. Now that Anexis picked up 1 round, if they lose this round, they will be forced onto pretty much a double eco here, Paul. So such an important round for Anexis and VeryGames right now.
A little bit awkward for Rattlesnake in mid there. He got flashed, and so did one of the CTs who was coming round behind him. Kenny S is just actually above him. Not in the main balcony room, but in the side room. 8-1 right now in this quarter-final. MBK get himself the opening kill. In fact, that's the second kill. VeryGames have lost 2. As he's got himself 1. Kenny S then equalising things back up. It's now a 3 versus 3. They don't have to rush this one. They can sit back. They can wait. Just have a quick look and see where they're going. Actually, 2 men racing towards Banana right now. One of which is Husey. They just stopped short. And I tell you what, if they'd run in there and then they might have got that bomb planted very quickly indeed. Flash and then counter flash back in towards the bomb site. They're actually going to rotate away. This is fantastic from Anexis. Really good piece of play. They've drawn men away from the A bomb site, but not enough, frankly. Now, in towards the bomb site. The call will be made. The rotation will be on very quickly indeed. Now, flashes and grenade rain down on top of Anexis. MBK and Kenny S coming up huge! And Kenny S with a double at the end of the round. They only need 2 players. They got 5 kills between them. It's 9-1 to the VeryGames side.
And as we can see, if you get the scoreboard up on your screen, we have Release, Weber, and MX on below 2K money. So Anexis should double eco, but I'm expecting them to go for that early buy or light buy in the 12th round.
Yeah. MBK 15 for 2, Kenny S 11 for 2. Again, both of them putting up really big numbers, and they haven't needed Scream. Now, it has to be said, I mean, he's had a 4-man in the middle of this, but they haven't really needed him. He was the standout headshot killer of Mad Catz Birmingham a week ago, but here, they've just had a man step up every round. It doesn't matter who it is. They've exchanged a frag apiece this time round in round 11. Anexis have got to start thinking about rounds on the board now. It's starting to get away from them. 9-1 down. This is shades of Nuke, but this is far from a Nuke-style map. Still with MBK waiting, and if we wait long enough, they might just be heading his way. Let's have a look. Well, does look like an A hit right now, and indeed, Rattlesnake is going to pop himself round onto CT side arch. MBK waiting for him, and brilliantly picked off by MX. Now in towards the bomb site. They've got 1 more man inside the pit area, which I think is Kenny. It is Kenny indeed. Now, can they get into this bomb site? Man will come over the top. Kenny S picks him off though. Existence comes back in with his deadly P90 yet again. Single shot from the AK from Kenny S that time. And Existence just rolls through the Anexis team with a P90 like a ninja.
And I'm still not getting used to seeing this in the top tier teams in the playoffs at LAN at the ESL studios. People are opting to go for that P90 and just rolls over some of the best players to ever touch the game.
But I think that's a really important point you make. I think the difference for me, the biggest difference for me, apart from the obvious stuff, is that the guns in CSGO are appropriate for different situations. So, for instance, you can have a shotgun partial buy and be deadly close range. I mean, some of the shotguns are absolutely, they destroy people up close.
And I like it, to be honest.
I do too, and it's nice to be able to see a range of weapons used instead of just the rifles of the AK and the M4. They're still the most deadly weapons, though. No doubt about it. So, flash into Whitehall from Kenny S. Feels like there might be someone waiting for him, but there's not. 3 men are down on Banana. Release is going to join them. Husey is the bait right now in an NBK Kenny S sandwich. Not something I would like to be in right now, that's for sure. Let's just see if they decide to go this way or not. Set flash into mid, over the top to help NBK out. He's now going to flash into mid as well. Will come under a bit of fire here. Smith picks up the opening kill, though, and they've had to back away a little bit. And Smith's covering the other side. MPK now on site, waiting for any sign of life from Anexis. 28 seconds remaining still. Weber now trying to make his way in towards that B bomb site. He's now the bait, and MX and Release and Husey are now going to go for this bomb site any moment now. Release then, ready to go at quad. Here he goes. Kenny S picks up the first one, Smith's the second one. Release can't get one in the corner, and Kenny S picks up a double. Weber now the last man standing, and he is going to get the frag on existence, is he? No, he's not. He might get the first one on screen, though. And he'll do well to get away from there with just a weapon, because he's going to come under fire from the bottom of Banana by MBK. And that will be game, set, and match as far as that round's concerned. VeryGames leading now 11-1.
And that means Weber is only on $350 now, being picked off after the time went out. And that just makes everything...
By the way? Do you want that to change?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of players have said they want that to change.
Honestly, I do not see any reason for it to be in the game, but I mean, it's always been that way, so people should know about it and not put themselves in those kind of situations.
But it always happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of does, yeah.
Always happens.
So,
Eco now from the Brits. 11-1 down. This is not looking good for them at all. Those Anexis fans out there were hoping for a better show on their third map. Will be disappointed. VeryGames, on the other hand, have played a textbook defense of Inferno CT and lead comfortably now 11-1. Well, they're just trying to make his way up the top of Banana. Does have some teammates for company with him. MX leading the way. Release is there. Rattlesnake's there. And Weber in the corner now. 4 men in towards the bomb site. Flash goes up. Comes over the top. It's a Release, though, that picks up the frag on existence. Scream is in the back corner here and might get himself a few kills. Has got himself 2. Can he get a third? Yes, he can. Not a fourth, though. It was actually Husey that came in, and it's now a 2 versus 2. This is not done yet. Bomb planted as well. They've got themselves weapons. Another double from Husey. Is this a turning point?
Oh, there we go.
Wow, heads ripped off their shoulders by Rattlesnake and Husey. And Anexis get themselves a second round on an eco. Don't give them any guns anymore. Just let them have pistols. They'll win every round.
All right, I'll lay a knowledge bomb on you here right now.
Drop one.
The reason why they have been winning rounds against VeryGames is because they move as a unit. Yeah. Even though they had an eco, they moved in as a unit, and they get the revenge kills. And then in the end, if you get the revenge kills, you're going to get the bomb planted, and you're at an advantage. That's what we need to see Anexis doing. But once again, they opt to go for a bit of static, defensive, too patient play here. And here we go. As you can see, MX is moving up, but he's gonna face off against 2 VeryGames players soon enough.
Indeed he is. Saw the split between them is sort of a 2-1-2. It's more like a football formation than a Counter-Strike formation. MX with Weber right now on Banana. Scream waiting for them at the top of coils on that bomb site. And it might well be that they fancy their chances on this bomb site again. Weber now edging his way forward. Scream waiting for him just behind the smoke. When it clears, he will have a perfect sight. They are starting to move this way as well. MX now is going to be the first man to come contact. Scream's seen it. He's going to make the call. Anexis has meanwhile picked off the frag of release on the other side of the map, and Scream now a little bit isolated on his own, so he's had to back away from those coils. Weber, though, picks up the first frag inside that bomb site. They're all streaming in towards the bomb site now. Head ripped off by Scream, gets the first one. Can he get the second one? No, he can't. Hughesy replying back, and they're now out of 3 versus 3. Exactly what Simon was talking about. They've managed to move in as a team now in towards this bomb site. Again, it's Hughesy and MX now. Last 2 standing. MX picks up 1 frag. It's now a 2 versus 2. Kenny S now making his way up the banana walkway. 2 men to find. Bomb planted. Is this another round going to Anexis? Maybe they found a little chink in the VeryGames armour here as Kenny S moves in towards the bomb site. What? They've got 1 man just to the left-hand side. I don't think he's seen him. He's going to come under fire here. Indeed he is. Somehow, though, Kenny S picks up the frag on Hughesy when really a brand new ready to rock and roll Hughesy would have definitely taken that frag. And VeryGames now lead 12-2.
I still think my point stands. I mean, every time they move in as a unit, they will get that bomb planted, and they will find themselves in a good position in 2 versus 2 with the opportunity to play off the bomb. But what failed there was pretty much Hughesy not being able to kill a guy who was with his back towards him.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
So yeah.
Mid is smoked out, and they are going to push a little bit here. Rattlesnake through the smoke, though, picks up the frag on Smith. Now, how big could that prove to be? Nicely placed. Couldn't land the easier shot at the end of Banana. Not the first time, or the second time, or the third time either. Might not get too many more bites at the cherry if he carries on like that. Hughesy, meanwhile, has made up for the last round. And do you know what? Anexis have not lost a man this time round and have dropped 3, make that 4. Existence is now the last man alive, and they know that he's at the B site, so they're going to run and scamper over towards A, get the bomb planted, and this should be 12-3 at the half. And indeed it is 12-3 at the half, with Release getting the final kill. On the balance of things, that seems about right. But it took Anexis far too long to find the chink in the armour.
Yeah, I just can't help but feel that if Anexis just kept on moving as a unit and just playing off each other, that's pretty much the recipe of success of NIP. I've been talking with the NIP players on most of the events I've traveled to, and basically their kind of play style is we never go into a fight alone. We always go 2 versus 1 or 2, so they can always play off each other.
So quick listening to Anexis.
End of the balcony in the right side and waiting, like baiting it. Like looking away so he doesn't get flashed, and then when Dan dies he gets 2 kills free, and then we have 1 quad, 1 arch.
I just think literally 1 small pit. Let's just be open to a
double grenade,
small site split. I just think be open to a small site split sort of style. To have like 1 end of house, 1 in arch, site, 1 small pit.
1 side, 1 small pit, 1 grave, 1 on the maps.
So interesting, they're already talking about round 1 strats for the second half. What about VeryGames?
They're not talking much, are they?
Believe it or not, I actually have their comms open right now. And that's it. That's the sum total of their discussions.
I think they were talking about baguettes there. I'm not sure, though. My French is a little bit off, Paul.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the way Anexis utilized the half time, really talking it over, thinking about stuff to do. They're pretty much building strats on the fly here, it seems, and this is not the first time we've seen it either from them. All right, so second half of the 3rd and final map of this match is going live now, so let's head straight back into the game and bring you the action here on Inferno. Paul, please take it away.
I'm still chuckling at the baguette comment. You're so naughty, you really are. Such a naughty man, Simon. Yes, we are back underway then for the second half of the 3rd map in the Raycore EMS 1 Spring Cup quarter-final. We've already seen absolute legends go through. Who's it going to be joining them? They aren't going to play them either. The winners of this will play the winners of Ninjas in Pyjamas and Kick Esports, which will be coming up as our final game of the day. Next up will be the French side Imaginary Gaming, who were imaginary, then they were superstars, now they're imaginary again, taking on Fnatic as things open up here. VeryGames starting things off nicely with MBK. MX has picked up the second one for a revenge, and actually they've dropped a couple more here, so they've got a 4 versus 2. MBK has managed to get himself into pit here, and I don't know if they've seen him.
Does not look like it.
It doesn't. Well, MX had seen him, and he has picked up an easy kill, and he's now got himself 3 in the round on pistols. Existence is now the last man alive, and he's managed to creep his way all the way round to the far side. Picks up the frag on Weber. Now, he's going to go for this. He has to go for this. There's no point in not going for it, but he's not going to get much further. It's a 4th from MX, and the Welshman has stepped up.
I mean, that's going to give Anexis a little bit of breathing room. If they lost that pistol round, they would probably look at it 15-3 scoreline before they could buy weapons. And you don't really want that in the last map of a single elimination bracket, do you?
No, you definitely don't. Just a quick look at the scoreboard right now. MX, the only man in double figures for his team after that 4-man. He's 12 for 14. As MX gets really heavily tagged. Double headshot with armor. He's now down to 20. So has had to back away there. Weber sort of gives him a knowing look as if to say, yeah, mate, you're not very healthy now. And has had to back himself away. Kenny S now waiting. Release picks up the opening frag. The weird thing with Kenny S right now is he looks like he's sort of skewed, but he's not. It's Hugh. And will he get another one? No, he won't. It's actually Rattlesnake that gets the last 2. So commentator's curse. Just as we switched over to Husey, he got deaded.
He got deaded, as they say in...
Nowhere.
No, I'm not going to... All right, never mind. It's 12-5, and X is picking up that eco with ease, I would say. Let's see. We're not going to have an early buy here from VeryGames because obviously they're quite in front now, aren't they, Paul? There's no point risking that at all.
I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? If you have plenty of rounds in the bag, then you don't need to make daft calls. And I was almost going to say that it was a daft call by Anexis, but of course it wasn't in the last map because they bought round 3 and they ended up winning it, which changed the whole early part of that game. So you can take risks when you're behind. But when you're ahead, you almost don't really want to, even though, in theory, you could take more risks because you're ahead by a long way.
Yeah.
But 7 rounds can quickly turn into a 3-round advantage, and then all of a sudden you lose 1 or 2 then, and then it's game on. So you're right, don't take any risks right now. No early buy from them. 12-5 up, minute left in round 18. MBK sent to the grave by Rattlesnake's Famous. As we wait for a push on Banana with MX. Might just fill his boots here if they do decide to rush through. But so far, nothing doing. Waiting behind the barrels. He's got a teammate just to the left of him inside that bomb site ready to rock and roll as well, which is Weber. So Weber and MX ready and waiting. Still no push from VeryGames. 20 seconds remaining. Rattlesnake's decided he's going to push behind him. That'll force them into the bomb site. Weber gets the first. He'll get a second here and a third. Nice little headshots from Weber. Only on an eco, so I'm not going to get too excited. Sorry about that.
Well, I mean, this is rinse and repeat. Sorry, guys, but I mean, every time you can shut down the T's in an eco and without them getting the bomb planted, you got to be happy about that. I mean, yeah. That's pretty much me just on repeat here, Paul.
Well, just if you record that for us, we'll just press that and then you can go home.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more cheap for ESL than to have me on. Only royalty fees.
What you don't know is we're actually recording you right now, and we're just going to chop bits out.
Just make an auto bot kind of thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
Like a Simon bot.
A Simon bot?
Let's not go there. I see what you did there. So anyway, on to more serious things. 12-6 overall. VeryGames still leading, but gap just reducing a little bit here. And if you look overall, they were 11-1 up at one point. So only 1 of the last 7 rounds has gone the way of the Belgian-French team. Release now with 1. Rattlesnake gets himself 2 with some very nicely controlled sprayed headshots. Can't get the third though. Smith gets that one. And now 2 versus 3. Oh, Flash is very awkward indeed. Super awkward, Captain awkward, and Smith somehow survives it. In towards the bomb side he goes, tries to negotiate the left-hand side. Hughesy's waiting to the left, and he hasn't spotted him just yet. Smith then tries to get the shot off on the left to MX, then goes for the reload. Amateur mistake. Husey then picks up an easy frag, and now Existence is the last man alive. 2 versus 1 for the Belgian to try and win the round. Not going to happen. Husey locking it down. and Anexis get their 7th round in the last 8. It's now 12-7. Momentum has swung.
It has swung indeed. What a fancy word coming out from Paul. It's 4-0 here in the second half, and that pretty much paints a picture that Anexis, they know how to play CT as well. It's not only VeryGames, is it? So, I mean, it's a little bit of a biased map towards the CTs, even though the statistics doesn't really show that it's that biased. But, I mean, for these two teams, they feel a lot more comfortable playing CT, it seems.
Seems that way. Kinius just taking a little bit of grenade damage in mid, and taking a little bit more damage from Husey. Husey actually downed at the end of it. Kinius does pick up one. Does he? No, not quite. Rattlesnake getting the first one. Can he get the second one here? Oh, little bit of dancing around. Existence picks up the frag. It's not going to make any difference though. Scream now, last man alive. He's got himself a gun, and I reckon he's going to go and find himself somewhere safe to hide.
No.
With a minute remaining, or is he going to go all the way over to the B-bomb side and try and plant this one 3v1? He is going to try and do that. And they're already rotating across here. So, they wait. And he has managed to get himself to the grate. Plant early, and you might get this round, you know. 1v3 now. And Release hasn't got much health. MX is low, and Scream picks up the first one, gets the second one as well. Now a 1 versus 3 has turned into a 1 versus 1, and it's the worst possible 1 versus 1 because look at Release's health points right now. It's not healthy, and this is on for Scream. A 1 versus 3. We've already seen Husey pick it up. And now, into the bomb site, trying to get in desperately, firing off left, right and centre. That should at least give Scream the idea, and he's going to try and go for the full defuse. It's not going to happen! And Scream is the master clutch master. It's 13-7.
Mr. Headshot Machine pulls it out of the bag once again, 1v3. He had that weapon, he had the bomb, and he had the health to do it. And I mean, that aim, he would probably gone for it if it was 1v4 as well. He's got so much confidence, and as long as you got that much confidence in CS, you can pull out miracles pretty much every round. I mean, fantastic to see those clutch plays coming out in such a big game like this.
I love it. Husey earlier, if you missed it, go and grab the second game, the second map on Dust 2. Husey showing signs of old with a 1 versus 3 on Dust 2 clutch. And now we've had Scream on Inferno doing exactly the same job. 13-7. Very, very big round. And it's not the first time I've seen Anexis lose a big round like that towards the end of a game. The Get Right one on Nuke during Ray Call EMS Cup 2, where he had a 1 versus 3, was a very similar position, actually, where Anexis, though, were ahead that time round. Here they're behind, but they had the momentum. That was the difference. They were just starting to come back into the game. Now, Rattlesnake, oh, those grenades are going to land right at the feet of Existence. Could have kicked them away. He's now down to just 5 points of health. MBK's only got 17. And even though it's a 5 versus 4 right now, it's not looking good for the French. MX makes it look even worse. 5 versus 3 now. Scream searches for the moment in the sky, the pixel that he needs to land the set smoke. Then throws off a flash. It's a dummy, though. They're going to try and hit the other site here. AWP in hand, are they? No, they're actually going to back away from this and save. Yeah, they are going to save. 17 seconds remaining. They don't fancy this one. They've got less than 120 points of health between them, so I'm not surprised. And instead, they're going to set up a nice little tent inside T-spawn, pop out a flask, have a cup of tea, see if they can find themselves in the exit kills, of which Anexis are going to have no chance of getting there, I don't think. No, I was just waiting just to see, because I saw in the corner of my eye there was one little man coming through on the X-ray. I was like, don't go in there. It's a trap. 13-8, VeryGames leading.
I have to say, Anexis playing really well now, and nice decision there by VeryGames, even though Scream was up with 86 HP, and he is the clutch master.
Oh.
That was, we got the nice little boost there.
We would do if Husey knew it. Yeah, there we go. No, oh, dear me.
Yeah.
Okay, good example of fail boost.
That is how you do not do this at home, guys.
No Anexis players were hurt in the making of this boost. And no one was successful either. Whoops.
All right, back into the game here. It's pretty much a 2-1-2 split here for VeryGames, just trying to find openings. Smith, however, being put down to 6 HP, Paul, but MX down to 12.
Yeah, Kenny is just sitting at the bottom of Banana with bomb. He's going to leave it for Screen, as we now see him bouncing up and down with the AWP. I wanted to see him do that Dust 2 trick he does as well. Have you seen them do that? They boost one man up onto the side of the double doors and jump up and down. It's a really cool little shot if they can do it. Now, in towards the bomb site they go. Weber's got one. Existence replies back with 4 versus 4. Everyone with a little bit of damage done to them. Kenny now with 14 health inside the bomb site. Bomb planted here as well. And chance now for VeryGames to stretch their legs towards victory. Scream picks up the frag on Rattlesnake now. They're going to have to back away here, aren't they? Let's have a look. Yeah, they are. MX is going to save. Release also going to save. And Husey as well. It's flipped round. It's going to be 14-8 now. And
such a close game.
VeryGames, for me, have it all to lose now. It will mean, of course, that Anexis will need to win 8 rounds straight if they want to win
without overtime.
Without overtime, indeed. Which we will have, because it's a 3rd map. So, oh, we're going to lose a player at the end? Not quite. So, 14-8. It's now or never for Anexis. They have to save the next 6 rounds at least. Otherwise, VeryGames will move to match point. A little bit of weapon exchanging going on in spawn. Funds are tight, but that save on the last round will at least give them something to play with. Now, where is it coming from this time round? Looks like it might just be an inner rush on A. And indeed, look at that, they've already gone down there. AWP in hand here with Kenny S. Man at the bottom of that runway is Release, who's already taken some damage here as well. And it's actually Release who picks up the first frag. Husey gets the second. It's now a 5 versus 3. Release gets himself a second frag. And before you know it, Anexis are now in control again. 5 versus 2. And Kenny in Existence, the 2 men remaining. Kenny just, well, he's in a bit of an advanced position, really, considering, oh, well, hello, incendiary grenade. It's in one of those in this game so far. Too expensive still for my taste, but that's topic for another time, perhaps. 45 seconds remaining. VeryGames now looking like they have to save with 2 men. Ooh, that was very awkward from Kenny S. Dropped down off the walkway there with just 15 points of health. Doesn't want to hang around. What are you doing? I've no idea why he's even there. Rattlesnake's got the frag on and gets the second one as well. That's just, I've no idea. I can't even comprehend in my brain what they were doing. Weird.
Well, I'm supposed to be the colorcaster here, the expert, if you want.
Okay, so break that down.
That's, it's basically, right, I'm gonna, another knowledge bomb here for you.
Right.
That was stupid. All right? That's pretty much what I got to say about that. Yeah.
Knowledge bomb dropped. 14-9. VeryGames still searching for another round, but this time round it's an eco and it's an MX Weber bashing for the Brits, and they'll reduce this one to 14-10. Existence is now going to try and bait them out, but he's going to get shot from behind here, and Release picks up that final frag. So 14-11. And for every round that Anexis pick up, sorry, 14-10, for every round that Anexis pick up, it just adds a little bit more doubt in the minds of VeryGames. So they won't want to lose any more.
Put it this way, it's 14-10 for VeryGames right now, but in the second half it's 7-2, in fact, for Anexis. So Anexis is playing a lot better.
They've won 9 of the last 11 rounds, if you count the last half as well. So 9 out of the last 11 rounds for Anexis. So it is a momentum game. Oh, lovely double nade into that sack area, but they weren't. Oh, nice header from Existence as well. Alan Shearer would have been proud of that one. Luckily, nutted it away from him. He's down to 58 points of health, so Screen with the first kill of the round. VeryGames now have a man advantage. Can they push this one home? 5 versus 4. Chance for them to move to match point, and it would be match point this time round. Did some fantastic work on Nuke. Not so good on Dust 2. But here on Inferno have just had the edge throughout the game. 11-1 up at one point, but now 14-10. Husey and Release picking up a frag apiece, makes it a 3 versus 3 now. Existence gets nailed. Long range by MX with a headshot. Now 2 versus 2. They exchange yet another frag. Scream on site. Bomb thrown down. He's now collected. It can be planted here, and then it'll be all down to Weber and MX to rescue the Brits here from almost certain defeat. Weber edging towards the pit. Sees the man, rips the heads off his shoulders, now got one, screams inside the bomb site here. If they can gang up him on him with a crossfire, they can win this round. They're in on him, they're trying to take it down. Scream though, oh my words! Where on earth has that come from? Scream should never have won that. Perfect crossfire setup from Anexis. Scream says, no you don't, not in my house, and locks it down for a 15-10 lead.
Wow, Scream has been a little bit quiet throughout the games here, but he's clutched 2 so important rounds for VeryGames, and that's going to be, I'm not sure, that might be the nail in the coffin, because Anexis now got to be kicking themselves.
Rattlesnake very close to landing the AWP shot through them in just as he got flashed. I thought he was going to go down under fire, but he hasn't. Kenny S is now down to 16 points out. Again, Rattlesnake not able to land a shot. Takes out by Scream this time with a head shot. Just continues where he left off from the last round. And they've now got a man advantage. 4 men to find for a 16-10 win and a place in the semi-finals of the Raid Call EMS 1 Spring Cup. MX says no though and stops Smith in his tracks. It's now a 4 versus 4. 3 men on Banana trying to make a push here. They're going to get stopped at car and then make a bit of a hasty retreat actually away from that area. And instead, things have started to calm down. 52 seconds remaining now of round 26. They've rotated once, they've now rotated again, and they've come back to where they were before. Still the men wait. 4 versus 4. 40 seconds remaining. It's got a nice symmetry about it. It's about to be broken any moment now. Smoke deployed. Here we go then. VeryGames going for the win here. In towards the bomb site they go. 3 men leading the charge. 1 man as a decoy. Now, if they manage to get into that bomb site they have on the right-hand side here. Man at the back of the site is MX. He's down by existence. They found 1. 3 more men to find. Bomb still not planted. 15 seconds remaining. Kenny S waiting inside that bomb site. Weber's got himself 1, and MBK flips round, picks up the frag. Hughesy then comes back round. It's now a 2 versus 2. 5 seconds remaining here. Bomb about to be planted. Hughesy gets another one. Bomb is now planted. MBK now to try and win the game. No, not going to happen. And Release and Hughesy combine to stop the rot. It's 15-11.
Oh, wow. My heart is pounding after that round. That was such a close round. Oh, wow. Fantastic play in the end there by Anexis. NBK also managing to pick up get that bomb planted to give VeryGames a lot more money to play with. And if we take a quick look at the statistics here as well, as you can see, VeryGames can lose this round and buy another round. So they can keep pushing Anexis to their limits, and they only need 1 more round to secure a place in the semi-finals here, Paul.
Yep, they are going to eco this one. Which, in theory, if they can convert, will be 15-12 and just make it a little bit more nervous, because they'll know that if they then lose the next one at 15-13 they have to eco again, which would then leave us at a tied game. So it's slightly out right now. The money, I know what you said about the money, but it's slightly out of kilt, because if they lose this one, that's expected. If they lose the next one when they buy, then they'll then need to eco the final round. So they're going to be in a bit of trouble. Flash goes into the white hallways there and actually flashes both players in the end. Release has to back away. 4 men waiting in mid here. Oh, nice flash. The MBK somehow one-shots Release in the head, though, and gets himself a gun and a flash. Now, 2 men in towards the bomb site. They're just going to line up nicely here for Rattlesnake, surely. He's got himself 1. Hughesy with another one. Kenny S, the only other man to reply back. And now, Rattlesnake under a bit of pressure here, and Scream comes in, takes his head off. Kenny S now the last man alive, and surely can be taken down by Weber and MX here. But the bomb is going to get planted. That might just make an awful lot of difference. Oh, incendiary grenade in.
Wow.
Oh, baby, relight my fire. MX picks up the final kill of the round. And Anexis live to breathe another day. It's 15-12.
Wow. That's a little bit of a burn right there coming out from Anexis. Clutching it out there with incendiary grenade. I don't think I've seen... I don't know. I haven't seen that. That was cool.
I have seen a couple of incendiary grenade kills before, but nicely done on the bomb site.
Yeah, that was a well put and well.
And when I say nicely done, I mean slightly over barbecued.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A little bit medium plus and.
Yeah.
All right.
Medium rare.
Medium rare.
Medium rare. Kenny S. Goes well with a few mushrooms. We're into round 28. Incredibly, Anexis remain alive in the Raid Call EMS 1 quarterfinals. Amazingly, after being 11-1 down, they've pulled it back to 15-12. Now, VeryGames on a gun round. Little flick and a hop and a jump and a skip from Kenny S. Into the back balcony he goes. 2 men alongside him. Looks like Whitehall's might be the way towards the bomb site here. Looks like A might be the hit. 60 seconds remaining. Here they go. Incendiary grenade goes in. Awkward little flash from Kenny S. Doesn't make any difference to MBK though, who picks up the frag on release. They've managed to get out of the Whitehalls. Flash goes in towards the bomb site. Little dink on the top of the head there. Rattlesnake picks up the frag on Smith. We're at 4 versus 4 now. Another incendiary grenade will light up that pit area. There's a couple down there actually, and they are going to survive it, I think. It's going to be fine. Rattlesnake though gets himself his second of the round. On for the ace now. He's got 3 in the round now. What on earth is Rattlesnake doing? 3 in a row. Can he get a 4th here? It's a 3 versus 2 as well. This is not done just yet. Anexis still need 2 more frags. VeryGames need 3 to win it. Rattlesnake with another one. He's got himself 4. Ace is on here. Rattlesnake, 1 versus 2. Needs this one for the 5-man. And Kenny has 42 health. Is it going to get stolen away by Weber? No, it's not. It is going to get stolen away. No! It is an ace round from the old master Sam Gorn. Rattlesnake brings Anexis back to 15-13. It's game on.
Anexis must feel so good right now. It's insane. I mean, it's so good to see Sam getting back into it. And what I want to point out as well, he got 4 kills. Sorry about that. And he didn't go for that frag. He's not frag hunting at all. That just shows how seasoned he is at CS. I love to see that kind of play. And being patient and picking up the ace, well done.
Who thought this game was over? I'll count myself on that list. I thought it was done and dusted when VeryGames got to 15 and had 5 chances to convert. 3 have gone. They've got 2 left. They're now on looks like a partial bye here, which means if they lose this, it's almost certainly going to overtime. No doubt about it. Got to win this one. Now on ever. And have Anexis finally broken that little bad run that they've had where they always seem to lose by the odd round. Rattlesnake with that 5-man. Incredible in the last round. 50 seconds remaining now in round 29. Really starts things off for Anexis nicely. Gets rid of Kenny S, who's been a real pain in the bum. Here comes Rattlesnake. Point blank range. Gets the first one. Couldn't get the second. Smith knocks him down. It's now a 3 versus 3. Weber waiting. Hughesy now goes huge. He picks up another one. 3 versus 2. MBK yet again. And Existence are the last 2 alive here, waiting to try and blast into the A bomb site. It hasn't worked for them on any round I've seen them trying to do this. Flash comes out through quad. MBK still sitting in there with bomb in hand. 18 seconds left. They've got to make a move any moment now. Existence just walks into the bomb site, picks up the head of MX. Can't get a second one though. MBK now in a 1 versus 1 for the match. 7 seconds remaining. Has only got 81 points of health. Weber is also there as well. He doesn't know where he is right now, and we know exactly where Weber is. Look, he's trying to get in towards the bomb site right now. MBK's going to get his head taken off. And that's another clutch round from Anexis. It's Weber who saves the day, and VeryGames were 1 frag away from the semi-finals. Instead, it's 15-14, and I think VeryGames have all sorts of problems right now with money. Let's have a quick look.
In fact, they got that bomb planted.
No, they are. They got the bomb planted, you're right. And they won the previous 2 rounds ago, which is why they've got enough to buy. So, here we go. Who thought we would get here, Simon? Round 30.
Do I dare make a bet? No, I'm not going to make that bet.
Don't make any nudity bets.
All right.
Weber trying to hold things off on Banana. Existence already charging along towards the top of Banana. He's got himself in there as well. Smiths and Screamer there, but Weber trying to take him out. They've exchanged a frag apiece now. 4 versus 4. Is this going to overtime, or is it VeryGames into the semi-final? We're about to find out one way or the other right now. It's still a 4 versus 4. Weber inside the bomb site. They've managed to get themselves in on that site and get the bomb planted any moment now. There it is. And Kenny S now. Weber replies back through the smoke. 3 versus 3. Still anyone's round. Still no one can claim it. And still Weber waiting to try and get in on the bomb. That bomb is ticking though now, and they've deployed the smokes. Got to get inside this site now. Existence waits for Rattlesnake to pop his head round the corner and take his head off, and now will easily be able to do so, and Kenny S cleans up the final kill. And after an absolutely monumental game, it's VeryGames that take it by the single round You couldn't have asked for a better quarter-final.
Well, you could have gotten overtime, Paul, and then I'm just doing the same as you did to me. What a fantastic game to watch. My heart is racing. Wow, I'm gonna need some air soon. Wow. Anexis though, they just seem to keep drawing the short end. I mean,
I know they do. Sad. I mean, they lost 16-14 to NIP twice as Mouse Sports. They also lost to them recently, 16-14 again on Nuke in the RC EMS Cup 2. They just always seem to fall around short, and it's such a shame to see for them. But I have to say, knowing that they've only just got Husey back, knowing they haven't had long to put the strats together, and I know they were a little bit worried about timing in their strats because of that, they've put up a fantastic performance against one of the very best teams in the world. I mean, VeryGames are, for me, one of the top 3 or 4 clans in the world right now in Counter-Strike Go. And to have run them that close with 1 round between them is nothing short of a brilliant performance. And some real standouts as well. Husey in the second map, fantastic top score with a KD of 1.5 and a 1v3 that really won them Dust 2 in the end. And then Rattlesnake, shades of the old again, with a 5-man ace
and not with
in the 28th round in the quarterfinals.
And who would have thought after that first map as well, Paul? 16-1 for VeryGames.
Yep, it was an absolute slaughter in the first map. Second map, much more than one.